Notion life right now. Oh, I could talk about Notion. How's that? I
Sure,
could just talk
if that's
about
something that you
how
wanted to.
how I organize my life. So I use this program called Notion to do everything in now. Essentially, I've always been one who likes to take notes and write things down, and I've always been really fucking terrible at scheduling things
Hmm.
and like having a big picture view of all the things I'm working on all at once. And I've tried things like Evernote. I've tried Google Keep and shit like that, and I always just lose track of everything because I'm fucking garbage at being a human being. My ADHD does not let me function properly almost any time at all. And I've been using Notion to plan out all the stuff for the D&D podcast for Reroll,
Okay.
where all my campaign notes are
Healthy
in, all
note
my
taking.
writing. It's more than healthy note taking. That's where all my campaign stuff is. So like when we're going through, we're playing. That's where all my narrative is. If you guys ask me where about this city, here's all the database of all the NPCs and things like that. It's all inside this app called Notion.
Yes.
And a couple weeks ago, I saw on Twitter this lady who showed me her dashboard of how she has her life organized in Notion, and I was like, "Fuck, that looks beautiful. I need
Nice.
that in my life." And so I copied her layout to now have everything I need on a day-to-day basis all the time for me. So I can just turn my computer on, open Notion, here's what I'm working on today, here's all my current active projects, here's some things from those projects I need to work on that aren't on a time schedule, here's my full calendar, all these kinds of things so that I can keep my shit focused
Okay.
to me. And I think that anyone who wants to have a really any endeavor that requires you to take notes and keep things in a centralized location, fucking use Notion. It's just so easy to use.
Okay. That's a
The
good
only
recommendation.
gripe, the only gripe I have about Notion is that there's no offline mode right now, which is something they've been working on for a while
That
because
is
it's still
kind
a
of
relatively new program.
meh.
Yeah, it's kind of iffy, but luckily I rarely don't have data where I am, so I
Hmm.
can just turn it on my phone to like put a note down for later, or if I find an article I want
Yeah.
to read later, I'll put it on
It
there
definitely helps if
and then
you're in a
come back to it
major
on my computer.
metropolitan, whatever that word.
Metropolitan area,
Yeah,
yeah,
like
which I am.
so you're always in
My
reception. Now, somebody who's a little more
yeah,
boony, like out kind of, might not have reception.
yeah. My warehouse has some spotty reception, but like for the most part, if I'm close to the front of the building, I can get reception if I really need it.
Gotcha.
But fuck, it's just so easy to use.
Yeah,
Jesus
man. If
Christ, I'm
encouraging anybody to get their stuff together in any way, shape, or form is definitely, that was a good idea to bring up. I
yeah.
definitely think that's good for people in general, who maybe not even aren't in the same position as you, or ADHD or something. Maybe any type of mental symptom like that might cause them to just have a
Mhm.
disorganized life. Like, it just in general is really good. I write stuff down that, like, I know I have to do, like, when I get home, because so there's something about the transition from a working mentality to a cool off that, like, I start to forget, like, the things that I need to do, or like or just writing down, like, names. Like, I can literally, I don't have it in my vicinity, but I can show you what I'm talking about. Um, for those that are watching the video, maybe you can draw some form of inspiration from this, because this is what works for me. That might not work for everybody. So you doing it in the way that you're doing it is definitely cool for, like, information technology. Like, we don't have to write things if we don't want to. But I basically carry one of these moleskins around. It's just
Mhm.
I think 5 by 3.5 moleskins, and I even have the leather thing. I don't use it currently, but I was. And so you slide it in there, and literally it gives you slots for your card. So I carried a debit card, my ID, and like a tertiary option, and then you can tuck
Mhm.
cash in there. But like, this was usually in my back pocket, so it's already on me. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I need to remember to do X, and I just real quick write it in. And so, like, it helps a lot. You definitely you're more productive. Not that being hyper productive is a necessity in life, but like, if you just feel like you're always getting behind on your to-do list, like, stuff like that can go a long way in, like, personal development.
Well, for me, it's more than just having a running to do list. Because I have it set up so like I have essentially a database is how Notion works for a lot of these things. I have a database called the Void. Inside the Void is everything I'm doing. I've got the last interview I did. I have our entire podcast for Reroll, my other podcast, things I want to do for YouTube, things I'm writing, my finances, um, other like things I want to read or working on, things like that, and I can give them tags and due dates and more notes to it on a simple view, or I can get more in depth and embed more pages and database inside those pages. So like for my for reroll for a D&D podcast, it's an entry in the database, but inside that I have another database of all the people, the places, and
Yeah.
things in the
Okay.
world.
So it's an even
I
better
also
version of
have
what I have. I just have I
yeah,
got the
because you
vanilla
can you can
version. Jeff's like, I got my whole
yeah
life and productivity here, son.
yeah, I've got like all the campaign chapters, the overall plot of the world, any
Hmm.
world building I'm doing. Like it's just so much more in depth and robust
If you're very
than
engaged in
carrying around a
the
notebook.
online stuff or just that kind of world, I guess that might be better. I think it would be cool for me to like maintain in categories like what I'm currently involved in. And it seems really silly to say that, but someone like me that's involved in so many things right now, from sailing to Dark Souls to building PCs with my friend to this, that, and the other. Sometimes you kind of like forget, like, oh yeah, I was supposed to finish that computer or stuff like that. Unless it like you trip over
Yeah.
it because it's sitting behind your desk, you're just not going to get it done.
That's why I have Notion set up that way, so I can always see what I'm working on today versus at a glance
Hmm.
versus everything.
Yeah,
That's why I like Notion a lot.
that's super cool. I like that. That's a very good. If you want to consider that a PSA, I didn't really know what to expect out of your thing, but I really
Sure.
like that topic. That was cool.